Hello, fellow skilled outdoorsmen. This is Dona.
And I'm Jenna. And today we're going to show you how to build a no-trace fire.
We're here in North Alona, Wilberforce. First step, what's step one?
Find a spot for your fire.
We want somewhere clear where there's not a lot of living things.
What about right here?
On a rock surface. Perfect.
Now on to step 2.
Okay, so the second step is to clear your area, but as you can see, there's not much to clear in this case. And to build a no-trace fire, you want a surface beneath it so that it doesn't touch, and like the fire doesn't actually reach the ground. So we're gonna use a canvas sheet. Also, pro tip, keep your fire small in order to minimize the impact on the environment. Hey Charlie, do you know the 3 requirements to build a fire? Did you say heat? Yeah, that's one of them. Okay, Charlie, what's the second requirement? Fuel? Yeah! Now Charlie, what's the third and last requirement to build a fire? We breathe it? Oxygen! Woo! Yeah, Charlie!
Now you're going to need your materials for your fire. So first you'll have your tinder, which will ignite your fire. So that will be your leaves, your pine needles, and if you're lucky, some birch bark. And then you'll have your kindling, which is your smaller sticks. And then you'll have the bigger logs, which will take longer to burn.
So there's 4 Ds for the requirements of fire building materials. The first 3 are dead, dry, and down. So as you can see, the wood over here and the branches are in fact on the ground. They are not living and there's very little moisture to them, so that'll make making the fire a lot easier. The last D, which is often neglected, is dinky. You want to make sure that the wood you're using is around the size of your forearm because, as we mentioned earlier, you want to keep your fire as small as possible. So as you can see, we've gotten our materials if we were just to make a regular old fire. But to make a no-trace fire, we also want a mound of soil on top of this surface.
Now it's time to dig. It's time to put the soil on the tarp. Remember when you're digging not to dig into any living things or roots, and try to look for soil and tree stumps. Make sure you have water by your fire at all times so you can put it out. Now all we have to do is build the structure, and first we're going to do a log cabin.
So we're gonna make a base for our kindling with using the little twigs. Oh damn it, there's already little twigs in here. Oh, this looks so good. And then we can put our dry leaves and pine needles on top.
Now Donna is going to start the log cabin structure by making a crisscross.
So you want it in a pretty square rectangular shape, and you're just gonna put 2 parallel ones and then perpendicular on top and up and up and up until your structure builds. Ooh, look at that log cabin structure. Looks like it's ready to light. Pro tip, use strike anywhere matches. we're going to demonstrate applications for fire.
Ooh, look at that nice, yummy marshmallow roasted on the fire. Do you feel calm and serene and positive, Jenna?
You bet I do.
After that marshmallow's in my belly.
Now it's time to extinguish the fire.
With water. Make sure there are no burning embers left. Another thing is make sure you don't leave the fire while it's still hot, even if there's no more flame. So, in a real life situation, you would want to let your fire completely burn out the wood, and then you could just scoop up your tarp, and then that would be the leave no trace. Next is the lean-to structure. So what basically is going to happen is the structure is going to be leaning against this big log. We're now going to set up our lean-to structure. So first you want to put your tinder down in the pit. So put this. I don't think I can see it. Then we're going to lean up our kindling against the log. And then the last step is to put your bigger logs, the fuel, on top, also leaning against the log. And the whole point of the lean-to structure is so that the airflow can get underneath here. Oxygen, one of the very crucial parts of the fire cycle. Time to light it. You want to put it below, right under here. You can always keep adding fuel to your fire, but remember not to smother it because you really need that airflow in there, so you don't want to put too much. So you know, from a long day of fire building, you're burning a lot of calories, and it's really important to keep your energy replenished. So again, we got to put out the fire. Protect the environment. Forest fires are not cool. So if you don't have any matches, don't feel left out because you can still make a fire. You can either use a camp lighter or just a regular old lighter. Okay, so right now we're just replenishing our supply so that we can make one more structure, which is the teepee. So we're replenishing and making sure that our mound is still in good shape. We just got a little bit more dirt and we're gonna get some more tinder, kindling, and fuel.
So first we're going to add the tinder to the bottom that will ignite the fire.
So again, that's our dry leaves and our pine needles. It's going to be the middle of the teepee.
After we are done making our little teepee, we are then going to surround it with bigger sticks that will make a bigger teepee.
So essentially what you want to do is make sure that the sticks are increasing in size as you go out. So yeah, now we're going to add the bigger fuel log. This is usually the most common type of fire that's built. So we're gonna light the teepee now. Remember to light under the tinder.
You can keep adding to your fire as it burns.
Stay safe. Fires are hot.
You're done enjoying the heat, you gotta put it out one last time.
Now it's time for our last step of sustainable fire building.
So you're ready to pack up camp? All you gotta do is pick up your tarp and take it with you. Leave no trace.
See? No trace.
So, did the Weather Channel lie and now it's raining on trip?
It's half working. It's half working.
What do you do? Here are 10 tips for fire building in the rain.
So after a long day of fire building, we're now going to reflect on the importance of fires.
So we learned that a fire is crucial for camp survival because it gives you a source of heat, light, and it helps you to make food.
And in real survival scenarios, you want to use a fire to signal also. When making a fire, it's so important to respect the environment you're around so that everyone who comes after can also enjoy the same beauty.
Having a fire also gives you a good sense of security. We hope you enjoyed our fire building video and learned a thing or two in the great outdoors.
Thanks for watching, Pyromaniacs!